Hey everybody, thank you for joining me in another video. Our topic for discussion is caring for a hurting mind during difficult times. Now before we get into our topic, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like, share, drop a comment. As always, I appreciate all of your support. Now let's get back into our topic, and that is caring for a hurting mind during difficult times. Unfortunately, we are still in this pandemic. Unfortunately, COVID-19 is still among us. And the toll of this virus and that it's had around the globe, around the world, has been tremendous. The toll that it has taken physically, emotionally, financially, and now even mentally, many people are suffering more than ever from mental health challenges. And for those of us who have already had our challenges before the pandemic, now we see in this season that many of our symptoms are triggering once again. Those of us who may have had eating disorders, there's triggers there, triggers for depression, triggers for suicide, triggers for bipolar, or whatever you may have been diagnosed with or suffering with. We see mental health wise that it's just been a trigger for anxiety. So I am not a clinical therapist, but I do have some things that I would like to share with you that has been a huge help to me during this season, and I pray that it blesses your life. The first thing that we need to do now that we're, still in this thing, and now that we're still dealing with this virus and with this pandemic, the first thing that we need to do is to continue to put our faith forward. So number one, put your faith forward during this season if you're struggling with your mental health. Because when we put our faith forward, that means that we are focusing on our spiritual wellness. And when we put a focus on our spiritual wellness, and that's through the practice of prayer and meditation and reading holy scriptures and going to God and attending service via Zoom or however you're doing it nowadays. These are the things that's going to strengthen your spirit. Putting on worship music and just sitting in calm and in peace, if you can get some calm and peace where you are. These are the things, by putting your faith forward and by putting your belief forward, that's going to help to strengthen your spirits. Because when you strengthen your spirit, what's going to happen is going to begin to balance your emotions, is going to begin to balance your mind. So when we put an emphasis on our spiritual wellness, and when we strengthen our spirit, everything else is going to begin to fall into line. So we must put our faith forward and our trust forward in God during this season. And that's one of the things that's going to help our mind. And that's one of the things that's going to help our brain, is one of the things that's going to help our emotions when we put our faith forward. The second thing that we can do during this challenging and difficult time is to seek professional help. Seek a therapist, psychologist, someone that you can talk to and that you can get treatment if your symptoms are chronic, if it's serious, if you feel like you're going to commit suicide and you feel like you cannot function, definitely go and seek professional help. And even if you can't afford professional help, do some research, ask questions, don't be ashamed, definitely get some help. There's some free resources out there, especially now with the understanding of many governments and with some of our institutions, they understand that many people are suffering mentally, and free services are being provided. It's out there. Just do some of the research, but don't be afraid. And also try to find some help within your and some support within your inner circle. If there's people in your life, in your family, friends whom you can trust and confide in and talk to, that's helpful. It may help with some of your symptoms, but definitely you can't do this alone. We can't do this alone. We don't know how long we're going to be in this situation, so we definitely have to find some sort of support, be it via professional or through people that we trust and love. So seek professional help if you can and when you can. Number three, the third thing we must take into consideration is that we must take care of our brain. Our mind is in our brain. So when we take care of our brain, and our brain is an organ, but our mind is placed in our brain. So when we have good self-care, and when we take care of this organ called the brain, it will help our mind. So one of the ways, there's many ways that you can help your brain, but one of the primary things is that we get some sleep. Get sleep, get rest. That will help your brain, that will help recharge you, that will help recalibrate your body systems. It will help you to feel better. Also, what helps your brain is exercise. whenever you can get out and get some exercise, definitely do it. If you can't get out, do some exercise in your home. Whenever you can get out, get some exercise, get some sun, hopefully. Take full advantage of that because it helps your brain. And when you help your brain, you're gonna help your mind. The next thing, watch what you eat. I know I say this often on my YouTube channel and many of my videos, but it's just so important that we watch the things that we eat. Some of the things that you can eat that's healthy brain food and that's good for your brain is fatty fish like salmon, even fish like sardines. Berries are good for your brain, especially blueberries. Also, nuts, if you can get some nuts into your diet. Walnuts, which is interesting because walnuts to me always reminds me of like little brains, but walnuts actually help your brain. Dark chocolate is helpful, and I'm a huge chocolate fan. Anybody who knows me knows how much I love dark chocolate, but dark chocolate is good brain food. Also, green teas, also turmeric. If you can add some turmeric to your diet, it's a super healthy food, and it's also something that will help your brain. Also, green leafy vegetables also helps your brain. So you have to feed your brain. We have to feed ourselves the right things, and it will help out our brain, not just our brain, but just every organ in our body, and we will begin to feel better. And this will have an impact on you positively, emotionally, and it would just help to chemically rebalance the things that's happening in your body. So when we eat better, when we get out and we exercise, and basically when we sleep, these are all the things that's going to help our brain. And finally, number 4, it's important during the season of time to find some sort of positive escape. The thing about mental health, and those of us who struggle with mental health challenges, is that mental health it's like an inward conflict, and it's a conflict where it's centered around how we feel. It's a conflict that is centered around us. And what I have found to be helpful is to kind of like get out of myself and get basically out of my own head and basically try to find a healthy escape and to get active so I can take my mind off of myself and how I'm feeling. I'm not saying to disregard your feelings, but sometimes when we're not as active as we could be, active in doing positive things that's going to help us feel fulfilled and feel better, what will happen is that we begin to kind of like invert and really focus on ourselves, and then the problems and the emotions that we begin to feel becomes magnified. But when we take the focus away from ourselves, what's going to happen is that what we're feeling and the emotions that we're experiencing and the symptoms that are triggering and flaring up, what's going to happen is going to begin to minimize. So it's important that we stay during this season active and activities that's going to be fulfilling, whatever brings you joy, whatever makes you feel better, be it spending time with your family if you can't physically be with them, FaceTiming with them, Zooming call with them, whatever is going to make you feel better, to kind of like take your mind off of the depression, to take your mind off of the thoughts, the negative thoughts that are coming into your head, to take your mind off of the worrying that you're experiencing during the season. So it's very, very important that you find some sort of positive escape, find some new hobbies, read some new books, learn something new, watch documentaries. I love watching documentaries. That usually takes my mind off of whatever I'm thinking. So whatever is productive and constructive, these are the things that you should be focusing on. Some sort of really positive mental escape. And that would help with some of the triggers and some of the issues that you are experiencing. So just a recap, put your faith forward, seek professional help if and when you can. Take care of your brain, because your mind is in your brain and your mind controls everything, your emotions, everything. So take care of that brain, and finally find a positive escape. So I hope that everything that I share with you is of some help and some blessing. If this video has blessed your life and you found some quality in it, please share it. I wish all the best for you during this season. Like I said earlier, we don't know when we'll get out of this, and when these restrictions will be gone, and when there will be a cure for this terrible virus. But in the meantime, we must do everything in our power to take care of ourselves and be kind to yourself, and don't be so hard on yourself, and just know that you are not alone. We're all going through it together. Take care, God bless, and I will see you in the next video.